Resurgence, make some noise!
About 10 years ago, my now husband introduced me to this thing called professional wrestling, which I have to say I thought was quite silly. And then he said, well, actually there's kind of a performance element to this. So I started to kind of explore it as I would do a stage play. And suddenly it became just a different thing for me. It became something that was much more exciting. Start off with, I think people thought I was a bit mad because I'm a traditional theatre historian. You know, I work on like Russian avant-garde theatre. Do you know what I mean? So this is quite an unusual step.
Should do that again. Yes, please. Okay. My name is Chakara, aka the Golden Goddess, as I'm known in wrestling. Every day I'm just quite basic, boring, but like when I become Chakara, the Golden Goddess, I'm just quite full of myself. I'm very rude, very disrespectful, I don't care about anyone else apart from myself. I'm a part of me that I wouldn't be in real life, but I can do and be allowed to do in the ring. As a baddie, I feel powerful as a woman.
I am the sexually frivolous and morally ambiguous pansexual phenomenon, Jack Sexsmith. I never really grew out of it as a kid. It just sort of it stayed with me. And then I was at university, I'd had a bit of an epiphany moment in my life, certainly with regards to my sexuality and discovering my identity and stuff like that. And I thought, try and make yourself happy, try and be active in the areas that you're passionate. Some people loved the athleticism involved, and that was great, but I just loved the theatrics of it. I loved the narratives of certain bouts, and that was always my hook. I needed to know who was going to win.
It's a beautiful thing to see two people working together and to create a story and to connect with me as an audience member.
I'm Penny, I'm 27 and I have been going to British professional wrestling events since about 2014. What really got me involved was the storytelling. I've often described it as being like the illegitimate love child of a soap opera and a stunts show. Because you have the visual aspect where you get to watch men and women basically doing really cool stunts. And you also have some of the most ridiculous, over-the-top stories.
So my opponent tonight is a former tag team partner of mine. How we will go about conveying that is yet to be discussed, but we certainly have backstory that we can rely upon, and I think it's matches that I enjoy feed off those nuances, those little nuggets that certain people in the crowd will know.
I always sort of say to people, wrestling's more like ballroom dancing than it's like boxing. These are two people working together to create a spectacle. If you have two people getting into the ring who treat it like a boxing match, who go in there like throwing punches and trying to hurt their opponent, you'll have a horrible wrestling match. It'll be terrible. There'll be no storyline, it'll be over in a second. I think one of the things that I really love about wrestling is its sense of collegiality. It has something to say in terms of, you know, you talk about its connections with culture and its connections with the world. It looks like a fight, but it's not. These two people are looking after each other.
A match is a journey. You'll carry people's emotions throughout the match. So like when the goodie's up and they're all happy. And then obviously the baddie comes down, cuts them down, and the crowd's like, oh.
The audience, it has a kind of democratic role in pro wrestling. They are very much involved in what's going on in the ring. And there's that sense that the wrestlers can kind of play up to that. And so the audience sort of becomes, I suppose, a kind of extra member of the story, like an extra character in and of itself.
We understand that going into a particular match, the wrestlers and the wrestling company have an end goal in mind, but it's nice to feel like we have some effect on the journey between point A and point B. Everybody comes together. It's being part of a group and having that sort of one reaction as a group.
I think one of the things that I'm really fascinated about wrestling is the way that it brings together people from different backgrounds. It shows so much about the world that we live in. Before I started going to wrestling, I
I didn't go out at all. I didn't have a lot of friends. We have this connection. Wrestling's given me a family.
It's about people, it's about how people interact with their world, it's about what people love. It's about these things that actually make us human.